Dwight Eisenhower interviewed us, and he said, boys, he said, you're going into something. He said, but it's going to be rough.
E.T. Roberts landed in Europe on D-Day, coming ashore at Omaha Beach.
The water was solid blood. Oh, I just crawled on the beach, crawled around, and then after I got this boy's gun, it's laid there with his wounded.
While he was slugging it out on the ground, Henry Oxner was dropping in from overhead with the 101st Airborne, and it was chaos.
82nd and 101st. All mixed, we all landed about the same area, a bunch of us, you know. The Germans, they had well secured in there, around that area there.
All 4 tracks opened up on him at the same time.
Bill Glaspie rolling his anti-aircraft gun across France, Belgium, and Germany, taking part in the Battle of the Bulge.
There was bodies hanging up in trees that had been blown up there. I always say my mother's prayers kept me out of a lot of that stuff over there.
And you had to wait for that 4th one. Pop.
Keith Bratton flew his B-24 over Europe, 31 missions up close with German fighters.
Looking at me like this, and I'm looking out at him like that, and my gunners were really blasting him.
The Germans were not able to put fighter planes up against us.
Marvin Belcher was a ball turret gunner in a B-17 during the later stages of the war in Europe. There were no enemy planes, but plenty of anti-aircraft fire.
And I had a good view of it from the ball turret. And they'd come closer, 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 and then you just felt like you were going to hit. On one mission, we had 100 holes in our plane, but not a member of our crew got a scratch.
Was it top secret type stuff?
Yes, very.
Betty Petrie was in the Naval Reserves, working in a communications annex, responsible for breaking enemy codes. But even at 104, she wouldn't talk about it.
Everything. Top secret.
Which you can't talk about certain parts of what.
Well, that's all I'm going to say.
Well, it was bad news. It was hard.
Augustine Augie Flores fought in the Pacific on Kwajalein Atoll, Saipan, and Iwo Jima.
All of a sudden, my rifle flew out of my hand, and I fell to the ground, and I got 2 holes in this arm, and they shot the hell out of them.
Bob Beauvais guided landing craft onto the beaches at Iwo Jima, escaping injury or death several times.
And I'm up in the front of the boat with binoculars. The crew and my radio man, they're in the back of the boat.
You're in the front of the boat.
Yeah, right up.
They're shooting at you.
Well, yeah, they were shooting at me. It was murder. I mean, the bodies everywhere. The first wave didn't go too far.
Roy Mushrosh saw his only action of the war on Iwo Jima, getting wounded 4 times.
Piece of shrapnel here in my thigh. The old corpsman did put it out, took it out, and another piece there at another time. I got a bullet through the groin here.
I got so damn many stories.
Victor Killingsworth transported Marines to several islands in the Pacific, including Saipan, trying to dodge enemy fire.
I told the boys, I said, just don't try to load it on the docks. I'm going to pull in real close, throw it on the docks. Marines will come and get it.
We had 780,000 gallons of aviation gas. You know, we always went by ourselves.
Forrest Frosty Frost supplied fuels for ships and planes at Saipan and Iwo Jima, helping heavy bombers reach the Japanese mainland.
B-29s were taken off every, I forget how many seconds, 90 seconds or so apart. They never formed up formation or anything. They just take right off and head for Japan.
From December 7th, 1941 until September 2nd, 1945, a world at war through the eyes and voices of some local men and women who were there.